Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into Good Morning Lambeau. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can text us 865-658-5824. Flying solo this morning here to talk Packers and more specifically Week 13 as obviously the Packers are going to be off today. It's going to be awesome watching a full slate of football with some playoff implications on the line. We'll talk about what may or may not benefit the Packers for this week across the rest of the league. And we'll also get into, we're going to talk a little TJ Slaton. We mentioned yesterday, we're going to hit on that. We're going to talk about team rankings, where the Packers are sitting now after this past win here this last week against the Miami Dolphins, where they're ranking in offense, defense, and all the important categories, all that good stuff. We'll also, like I said, lay out the full slate of the Week 13 matchups and what games you'll have rooting interest in as a Packers fan. And we'll just kind of go through the news, too. We made a couple signings to the practice squad. We'll hit on that. I know the chat is already filling up here. Good to see everybody in here. We got Andres in the house. We've got Josh Vallanningham, Chris in the house. Good to see you, buddy. United Bates has entered the chat. We got Jen Wright. Good morning, ma'am. How are you? Holmes in the chat. We got Deadfish up in here. Green Bay has not lost a road game in North America this season. Man, what a stat that is. Absolutely awesome. Terrell says, watching Chalk Talk. LOL. Okay, good stuff, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Got some really good feedback from Chalk Talk last night. It's kind of I don't know, it's a tough thing to balance because we have podcast listeners and we've got the viewers. So I know it seems like the viewers sometimes say, hey, Clayton, you're talking too much. Just roll the footage. And then people on the podcast are going, hey, man, keep in mind, I can't see the video. Can you explain a little bit more? So on one side, I've got some people saying, shut up, just play the tape. And the others are going, hey, we can't see the tape, knucklehead. So we'll continue to try to meet both parties in the middle, but we definitely appreciate the feedback on both fronts there. Prince in the house. We got Ron Samble. Good to see you in here, Ron. Matter of fact, Ron has a Patreon question we're going to hit on. Before we get to it, let's go ahead and announce it. Our Week 13 PTA Players of the Week. Keep in mind, guys, we try to do this every week. I wish we had done it all season long. I'm glad we've started doing it, though. During the post-game show, we will put up who is your offensive player of the game. And then on Monday's show, we put up who is your defensive player of the game. So it's not my decision. It's not anyone else's that helps host the show. It's strictly the fans, the listeners that are deciding who the players of the week are, which is really cool. So these are the players of the week that you guys and gals decided on. They are Jordan Love and Quay Walker are your PTA players of the week. So obviously Jordan Love, man, had a pretty damn good ball game. You know, a couple of touchdowns, no interceptions, very efficient. I think at one point he had completed 11 straight passes, and that has tied his career best so far. Obviously, Quay Walker had a great game, a couple tackles for a loss, had a sack. I think he ended up with 10 tackles. These last two games we've talked about on the show, breaking it down, hands down, been the best two-game stretch, in my opinion, that Quay Walker has had, at least in the last full season, possibly his entire career. So hopefully he continues to build off of that. But again, Jordan Love and Quay Walker are your PTA Players of the Week for Week 13. Thanks to everyone who voted on that. Really, really cool that you guys are getting your voices heard in that regard. Now, the Patreon question came in from Mr. Ron Samble. He says, Clay, Jordan has been healthy, so I was wondering what Matt is seeing when he keeps handing the ball off from the gun. Doesn't it seem like Jacobs does better when Jordan is under center? It's a great question, and I know it's specifically asking about Josh Jacobs, but the way I would steer that question, Ron, it's not just about Josh Jacobs. It's about overall efficiency, right? And this conversation happened a couple years ago, too. I think it was 2022. It was Aaron's last year. Might have even happened in 2021 as well. But people were saying, we got to get out of the gun. Rodgers just wants to run gun. He only wants to run gun. And I'd pointed out back then, you're getting more production out of the gun in the running game. And I went through and ran down all the statistics and took the time to do that. And they were averaging, it was like 1.3 yards more per rush out of the gun than they were under center, whether it was a offset I or ace, which we run majority of the time as ace. So what I did was I took this last game and went through all the chalk talk plays. So obviously these are the explosive plays, the most important plays of the game, and I charted it real quick before we went live to kind of get – because I was wondering too, Ron, I think it's a great question. I'm not poo-pooing the question. I was like, man, that's a good. Let's look at it, right? So this is what we came up with. In order of the plays from that chalk talk: touchdown pass out of ace, that's under center, right? Explosive run out of pony gun, explosive run out of gun, explosive run out of ace, and that was actually a jet sweep. Explosive run out of pony gun, explosive pass out of gun, a TD pass out of gun, explosive pass out of gun, and then an explosive pass out of ace. So when you chart it, here's what we came up with. From the ace formation, you had one explosive pass, one explosive run, and one touchdown pass. All right. When you go to the gun, it was 2 explosive passing plays, 3 explosive running plays, and a touchdown out of the gun. So you were way more effective from a result standpoint in trying to hit on explosives and obviously the scoring plays. You were way more effective in the gun. All right. That's what it feels like to me. So again, the pony package, Matt LaFleur has tried to implement the pony package a couple of times in the past, and it hasn't really panned out. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I think it was because of A.J. Dillon. Chris Brooks, when he's given his opportunities, the thing about A.J., when A.J.'s given the ball, and it's supposed to be a 22 dive or a 24 blast or whatever it may be, he's hitting that hole and nothing else, right? He's just going to – that's where – and that's – you heard him say earlier this year when he chirped back at the fans because he was catching a lot of criticism. He's like, I graded out a 98% this week. So the coaches are looking at the tape and going, he did what he was supposed to do. There wasn't a hole there, but he did what he was supposed to do, right? Well, you're seeing Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brooks, and Josh Jacobs, just like Aaron Jones did. If there ain't nothing there, they're bouncing that thing outside. So, again, Chris Brooks and Emmanuel Wilson, the facts are the facts, and the facts don't care about my feelings as much as I love A.J. Dillon, right? But those guys are way more effective at running out of the pony package, especially Chris Brooks, when Matt calls it as opposed to A.J. Dillon. So, again, charting those plays, though, you got way, way more production out of the gun than you did ace. And, again, I was surprised a couple of years ago when that topic got brought up, and it ended up being way more efficiency out of the gun. Here we are again. Now, back to what you originally asked, too, about the fact that Jordan's healthy. That definitely comes into play. Make no bones about it. We're running more plays under center now since Jordan is healthy. That's a given. I think everybody would agree with that. I haven't charted how many snaps it is, but you could just tell you're under center a lot more. But the explosive plays are coming out of gun. So, you know what I mean? You gotta dance with the one that brought you. You don't want to change things up when it's working, right? So, great question, though. Appreciate you over there in the Patreon group, man. Love the fact that you had the wherewithal to ask that, too. Andres in the chat, can you explain what a pony package is? Yes, sir. We hit it on Chalk Talk. If you go watch Chalk Talk, Andres, it'll make a lot more sense because you get the visualization. But the pony package is a shotgun. The pony package is a formation and a personnel package, okay? It's called 21 personnel. Now, not all 21 personnel for the Packers is going to be pony, although a large chunk of it is. What makes it the pony package is Jordan's in the gun, shotgun set. He's in a double sidecar, meaning he's got a running back on each side of him, okay? So 2 running backs, 1 tight end, that's your 21 pony. And we'll go a step further and say like a 308 pony, meaning number 30 on his left, that's Chris Brooks. Number 8, Josh Jacobs on his right, or it might be 11-8 or like a 118 pony, meaning Jaden Reed will be on his left and Josh Jacobs will be on his right. Now, when you go from 21 to 11, what's really cool about that is Jaden Reed is just as effective as a running back as he is as a receiver. I think we would all agree with that. You get the ball in his hands on jet sweeps and things like that, he can run the rock. You put him in the backfield, they have to play their 11 personnel because they've got to respect him as a receiver. When you just go to 21 personnel, they can now lean into their base defense, put an extra linebacker on the field as opposed to linebacker, and now they're in a more advantageous spot to stop the run. So what Matt LaFleur is doing, and it's really, really, really smart, go to the pony package with 21 personnel, triggers their base. Then you go to the pony package with 11 personnel with Jaden Reed back there, and all of a sudden they have to go to their nickel. But when you go to the pony package in the 21 and they go to their base with their extra backer, throw the ball, right? Orbit motion, get creative with all that stuff. And that's where some of their explosive plays came from, was 21 pony. So pony package, real simple. Just think shotgun set, double sidecar. That's all it is. And again, if there's a tight end back there, I don't really we may call it pony, but I don't look at it as pony. Two things with pony package. Shotgun set, double sidecar, right? That's one aspect. And then the other is it's two running backs back there. Or I count Jaden Reed because he's effective as a running back. You don't see like if Ben Sims goes back there as a second sidecar. We tried to do that with Josiah DeGuara. You guys remember that. When A.J. Dillon got hurt, we started putting Josiah DeGuara back there, but we would never give Josiah DeGuara the ball. So it was very, very one-dimensional when you ran the pony package. Now you're using Josh Jacobs in the passing game with the T orbit and then running Chris Brooks out the backside. There's a lot of different things you can do. It's truly manipulating the defense now, as were before. Even with A.J. Dillon, they weren't getting that kind of flexibility that they have right now. It's wild that I'm saying this, but I'm just telling you, man, everything we've seen, both Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks are significantly better running backs than A.J. Dillon. I don't know what happened to A.J., but if you guys remember, I think it was that rookie year when he ran all over Tennessee, and it was like, man, this is our downhill runner right here. And then it's just like teams keyed in on, look, if we can read where the run's supposed to go, he's not going to bounce it out, right? And with Emmanuel Wilson, that he's looking for a reason to take it to the sideline, right? So, yeah, AFAM in the chat says Chris Brooks, and I agree with this completely. He says Chris Brooks is
thick.
He's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, man. That dude, thing is, too, when they signed him, Matt LaFleur said he's great in pass protection, and he's also an effective runner, and he can catch the football out of the backfield. You kind of roll your eyes and go, okay, why ain't he on a roster then, right? Matt LaFleur was right. That dude's good at everything. The fact that we got his rights for the next couple of years, along with Emmanuel Wilson, and you've got a Marshawn Lloyd, who we haven't even got a chance to see yet. The running back room's set, guys. You don't have to spend another dime on the running back room unless you look up in the draft in the second or third round and you've got a first-round talent that fell right in your lap at the running back position. You can't pass it up. That goes for any position, right? If you can get great value. If you look at your draft board and you look at your vertical board and this player is hands down the best player on the board, whether it's a need or not, it's hard to pass up on it unless it's a kicker or a punter. And we all know how teams approach that. But all right, so there we go. We hit all that again. Ron, thank you so much for the Patreon message, man. And anybody who wants to join our Patreon group, just go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Got some awesome chats set up in there. Really, really cool community we've created. Everybody gets along. It's just laid back, chill. It's a really good time. Really good time. So, all right, let's do this now. Let's shift gears and let's hit on some of the news. We don't have a whole lot. I've been trying to do this more regularly and just going through my Twitter, and I'm trying to keep my Twitter clean to where the only thing that I put on there is just football related, right? I mean, we've always been football related, but I try to gear it around the Packers where we could just pop this thing up here and take a look and scroll through at what's going on. If you guys watch college football yesterday, Michigan upsetting Ohio State. If there's any Ohio State fans in here, I'm sorry, man. I know it sucks. But this right here was wild. I won't play the entire thing, but I'll just skip ahead. Michigan planting the flag at Ohio State's 50-yard line and a fight ensued. A couple players got pepper sprayed. It was a wild time, man. I mean, it was crazy. This tweet right here I really wanted to hit on. Jeff Mueller at JMTHRIVEPT on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Jahmyr Gibbs has entered the doghouse. So Jahmyr Gibbs evidently posted this picture. And if you look on the whiteboard, this is Detroit Lions running back for, some people may not know. Look at the whiteboard in the background. Look at the drop back protections. Like they basically have all the terminology for the protections and specific aspects of the running game. All right. And listen, these are the plays they're going to run, right? Everybody in the NFL runs the same plays. It's a copycat league. But when you know what the protection calls are and everything, that's when it's like, holy cow, this is what it means. They're going to have to change that up. Now, there's some people that are saying that Dan Campbell's playing playing chess, not checkers. And he put that out there on purpose. Now, if you guys seen his presser, he's a hell of an actor, and I've seen him in the Applebee's commercials too. But he's a hell of an actor if that was the case, because he ended the presser as soon as somebody brought it up. He went, I didn't know that. I'll go handle that right now. So Jahmyr Gibbs probably in the doghouse a little bit here. Great football player, obviously, but this was just stupid. Maybe it was planned. I don't know. But regardless, it's definitely brought some more attention to the Detroit Lions, and I'm all about that personally. So, of course, I put that's a shame that stuff gets leaked out. Let's see here. What else? All right, so here's the news we wanted to hit on. Paul Brettel had tweeted out. Let me pause this. We'll get to that in a second. Paul Brettel had tweeted out the Packers signed linebacker Michael Barrett and guard Marquise Hayes to the practice squad. They released wide receiver Malik Knowles. Okay, so we were talking about we're a little light at linebacker. Packers went out and signed Michael Barrett to the practice squad. We won't take time to break that down right now. If he gets playing time or he gets called up, we would definitely dive into it at a later date and give you guys his measurables and all that stuff. There's just no reason to jump into it at the moment. And then obviously guard Marquise Hayes will handle it the same way. So again, for those of us, and I was one that was a little bit worried about the linebacker room. We got Michael Barrett signed now. So I don't know why, but I feel like he played at Michigan. It's probably not true. But when I hear Michael Barrett, I think Michigan Wolverines. So probably not the case, but if you guys know, hit it in the chat. Let everybody know in there. I'll try to put it up on the screen when you do get to it. So here was Brian Baldinger on Twitter. Love his breakdowns. Go give him a follow at Baldy NFL. He said basically he tagged, I can't remember who he tagged in this, but he tagged a player CIN50TRE3 is playing excellent football, and the whole offensive line is cohesive without mistakes, clicking at the right time. Here's Baldy's breakdown. So again, many of these plays we're only going to hit two from Baldy. We hit on, I think, both of these plays during Chalk Talk, but it's important to hear it from a former NFL player. Forget the dumb redneck over here that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Let's listen to a former offensive lineman who played a long time in the NFL, Super Bowl winner, break this down. So let's see what he had to say about the Packers.
This offensive line is playing excellent by the Packers, but they really have all the necessary skills. Like this, to be able to get out there on the perimeter, Rasheed Walker, along with Elton Jenkins, like Walker gets the key block right there, okay, on Terrell Dodson, and Jacobs rips it off.
Oh,
all right, so
sorry, I don't mean to cut him off, but watch Sheed right here, guys, and I'll put the volume back up again in a second. Watch Rasheed Walker fire off, and look at him walk this guy completely out of the frame. Look at 63. Let's freaking go. And look at Elton out front. All right, sorry. I just had to point it out one more time, man. Sheed is dog walk somebody.
Just rips it off. All right. So you see Josh Myers, okay, all of them. You watch this play right here. Like, watch how long Jordan Love holds this ball. Now, you got Rasheed Walker out here on the rookie, Chop Robinson, right? He's in perfect position. All right. Now, Jordan Love can step up right here. Excellent double team right here. You got Sean Ryan battling against a good front. Hold it now. Check it down to Josh Jacobs. Let him go do the rest. Look at that move on Dodson. Like picking up blocks by Jaden Reed. Like everybody doing their job to help out that 49-yard catch and run. But it's everything. You watch the backside cutoffs right here. These backside cutoffs are critical. Can you get this 3 technique so that he doesn't penetrate right here? Look at the movement right here. Now Brooks can just rip this one off right here, break a tackle, and go for 18 yards. And then right before the half, again, they pick up a key 8 yards right here to put them in field goal range. Like, again.
Ron Samuel, notice all the running plays he's breaking down are from the gun, right?
Excellent cutoff. Take care of the down man first. And that's what they do. Brooks will figure it out. He'll drop that shoulder on him. It's just a great effort down the goal line.
Here we go.
Josh Jacobs has run for 4 one-yard touchdown runs in the last 2 weeks. But
think about that. The only knock people have on Josh Jacobs compared to the top 3 rushers or the top 2 rushers in the league is his yards per carry. Here's 4 touchdowns he's had that were just on the 1-yard line. So that hurts his yards per carry, obviously, right?
It's the movement, no penetration. You know how hard it is for a lot of teams to gain a yard on the goal line? They lose games because of it. The Packers don't. Look at the movement by Walker right here, and Wicks and Kraft. Josh Jacobs is going to find the goal line. You just don't allow any penetration to stop them. And there they all. They all get to celebrate right there. Well done.
Just a phenomenal job there, obviously, by Baldy. You've seen Rasheed Walker. 2 of those plays he broke down, man. She getting better at run blocking now. I know that one was, I guess, technically a pass, but him just getting out front and making a play is awesome. All right, let's move on to another Baldy breakdown. This one, he says, Packers, Dolphins, Jordan Love to Jaden Reed, and Watson is the key. Not to touch the cornerback until the ball is touched. We talked about this on Chalk Talk. Let's hear Baldy's breakdown of it.
Let's watch this touchdown throw from Jordan Love to Jaden Reed. All right, it's a little hitch right here. But watch outside here, Watson. This is the coaching point. Don't interfere while the ball's in the air. He doesn't touch him. Now the ball's touched. Now he seals him. Then you get Wicks right here on a good block on Jordan Poyer, and then Reed just beats the middle linebacker, Jordan Brooks, into the end zone for the 3rd touchdown of the first half. I mean, it's just great fundamentals all the way around. Nice throw right here, obviously into the hands of Reed. But when he turns, he's got the seal right there by Watson. And now he's just following his blocks. All right, he's going to outrun Jordan Brooks into the end zone right here for an appropriate 11-yard touchdown pass. But good use of sealing the corner without interfering on the corner by Watson. Let's watch this touchdown.
Yeah, so Baldy obviously seeing pretty much the same thing we've seen, right? I love his breakdowns. He's so simple. You know, he keeps things at a 3rd grade level, and I need that in my life. Holmes MD1 stalking the cornerback with the devil emoji. Yeah, man. And again, I have never heard Matt LaFleur talk about a stalk route until he said that Robert Saleh had recommended they run a stalk route a couple of weeks ago with the Christian Watson wheel. So pretty cool stuff. You're seeing the dividends there from Robert Saleh joining the staff, no doubt. And I think we're caught up just about. Check this out, guys. Tonight on Sunday Night Football, obviously we love rooting against the 49ers, right? Everybody loves rooting against the 49ers. Adam Schefter tweeted out a look tonight at Buffalo, which is hosting the Sunday night game versus the 49ers. So this was last night. Now, the majority of the snow has passed through. I think there's like a 50% chance of snow showers during the game for Sunday Night Football. But there was supposed to be somewhere between 1 and 2 feet of snow dumped in Buffalo. So there's going to be a lot of snow shots around the stadium. You know, Bills Mafia. Look at Twitter today. When them tailgating out there, those knuckleheads are going to get creative out there in that snow, I promise you. But going to be awesome football tonight, as we'll probably get, like I said, a few flurries, a few snow showers there for the Buffalo game, Buffalo-San Fran. We'll talk about who we have rooting interest for all of the games across the league here shortly. I want to hit on this too real quick. Matt Schneiden had tweeted out, Packers have a strange week going Thursday game to Thursday game. So today is like a Wednesday. They're going to have practice, LaFleur and Jordan Love in the locker room this afternoon. So we should get our first injury report today. And I'm really excited to look and see exactly how banged up the Detroit Lions are, because some people are saying it's really, really bad. Others are saying, it's not so bad. You're just keying in on one side of the ball. We'll take a look at it. We'll do all that this evening at 7 p.m. Central. We'll also give you a recap of all the action across the league and what may or may not have benefited the Green Bay Packers. But again, today's like a Wednesday, so we're right in the thick of it, guys. So it's exciting stuff. So that's pretty much everything on Twitter. Like I said, just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on what's going on. Anytime that we come across stuff there on social media, notice there's no drama other than the Michigan-Ohio State fight, right? If you know how to use Twitter, and it took me a long time to get mine cleaned up. Now the political stuff will still hit. There'll be Trump stuff flying everywhere. There's Kamala Harris stuff flying everywhere. But if you can learn how to navigate it, mute certain words and steer clear of it, man, it is the ultimate football tool. Twitter also, something else you got to give them a lot of props for there on X. They've now got I'm trying to think of what it's called. I think the NFL portal is what it's called. If you click on that NFL portal, it just gives you the top news in the NFL, filters everything else out. It's almost like, you know how the Red Zone channel takes you around the league constantly? This takes you around the NFL constantly for the most important stuff, and it's in one thread. It's really, really cool. Check it out. NFL portal is what it's called. Crossfire confirms, looky here. Michael Barrett is a Michigan man. Appreciate you, Crossfire. I don't know why. I guess when you are a draft nerd like I am, you hear a name and you go, yeah, didn't he go to Valdosta State? Stuff like that pops up. So we had it right. Interesting. So Michael Barrett did play for the Michigan Wolverines. We'll dive into him a little later there as far as what he may or may not be good at. All right, let's do this. Let's shift gears and let's talk a little TJ Slaton. We talked about this yesterday. When we were talking TJ yesterday, we showed on the tape the Quay Walker sack there at the goal line stand. TJ Slaton completely blows the play up, right? So he's in a contract year. Many of these players, I'm going, nah, steer clear unless they're willing to take a very team-friendly deal. You're trying to find those people that are going to be free agents that you can get on a bargain that you go, man, they're really contributing to the team. And I don't think people truly understand how well TJ Slaton has played. When you look at pressure percentage, right, quarterback pressure percentage. So obviously you take the pass rush snaps that they're actually rushing the quarterback and how many times they apply pressure to the quarterback, and that comes up with your pressure percentage. It's essentially the effectiveness in which you rush the passer, okay? I love NFL Pro over PFF because PFF does not tell you who's grading the tape. They don't give you a formula. It's just, hey, listen, you've got to trust us. They don't say on these 4 plays here are the pressure plays. These 2 plays right here are the pressure plays. They don't tell you that stuff. You just got to you've got to accept the fact that they're telling the truth and that's it, right? And not that anyone would be dishonest, on purpose. It's just people make mistakes. Anytime you've got humans grading things, you're going to have mistakes. What I like about NFL Pro is they use GPS tracking. So if the quarterback still has the ball in his hand, once they get within, and I can't remember how many times it gathers data per second. It's something crazy, like 100 or 1,000 times per second it grabs GPS data. It was something really, really wild. So it'll detect how close a pass rusher is to the quarterback while he still has the ball in his hands. So to me, that's a true pressure. That's okay. They got in close enough that's a pressure. So when you look at the pressures on the Packers and you look at who's leading in quarterback pressures, I'm just going to try to zoom it in so we key in on it. You got to kind of filter out the noise. Keyshawn Nixon, Xavier McKinney, Isaiah McDuffie, Eric Wilson, Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, all those guys are either linebackers or secondary. So when they blitz, typically you're bringing one more than the blocking scheme can handle, or you're trying to catch them off guard. So the numbers are way, way overflated. It's good to have those high numbers, don't get me wrong, but it's also important to understand that the reason those numbers are so high, like Keyshawn Nixon, when he blitzes, remember we would fire him out of the nickel before we put him outside? When he blitzes, 40% of the time he applies pressure to the quarterback, right? Xavier McKinney, when he's blitzed off the edge as a safety blitz, 27.3% of the time. Isaiah McDuffie, when we bring him on whether it's a green dog, a crossfire, or it might be just a will fire or a mock fire, when we blitz him up the middle, he's getting pressure 26.3% of the time. Eric Wilson, 22.2% of the time. Quay Walker, 20% of the time. Edgerrin Cooper, 16.7% of the time. And Javon Bullard, who's now playing safety or has played safety and now plays nickel, he's getting pressure 14.3% of the time when they blitz. Now, you get into the every down rushers. These are the guys that are down in and down out. They're going after the quarterback constantly, right? Here are your top pressure percentage amongst our pass rushers. Rashawn Gary still leads the way and by a healthy margin at 13.7% pressures. He also leads the team with 4.5 sacks. Okay, that's Gary. Guess who's second? TJ Slaton. TJ Slaton is applying pressure at 10.4% of his pass rushes. All right. Brenton Cox Jr. at 10%. Lucas Van Ness at 9.8%. Kingsley Enagbare at 9.4%. Devontae Wyatt at 9.3%. Aaron Mosby at 8.7%. Colby Wooden at 7.6%. Preston Smith, obviously not on the team anymore. He was at 7.1%. Kenny Clark at 7%. Carl Brooks at 4.6%. So we talk about a couple things here. You're trying to find your true 3-tech, right? And everybody needs a 3-tech. Let me hit this super chat real quick. I don't want it to sit there. Drew D with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, did you see Gibbs leak the Lions plays on social media? I sent it to you on X. Yeah, we actually just showed it, Drew. I didn't notice that you sent it. I appreciate you taking the time to do that, man. We were kind of hitting on that just a second ago. I did want to acknowledge your super chat here, buddy. Thank you so much. If you go back to probably the first 10, 15 minutes of the show, we actually hit on it. It's pretty wild, man. Give us your take in the comments. You're good, man. If you got here late, I know. Thank you for the super chat, Bob. Let us know what you think about it in the comments, and you guys chat about it in there. Appreciate you, pal. So when we're talking about a true 3-tech, trying to find that real 3-tech, right? Who is our 3-tech? Who's that guy that you can say, okay, opposite of Rashawn Gary, this guy's going to apply pressure? If you go strictly by the pressure percentage numbers, it's TJ Slaton. That's wild to think about. Now, keep in mind, far fewer snaps, right? These are, I'm trying to think of what those are. Yeah, just overall snaps. TJ Slaton, 289 snaps, right? Brenton Cox Jr., actually, let's look for interior defensive lineman here. The next closest one is Devontae Wyatt at 237 snaps, and he's at 9.3%. Then it would be Colby Wooden, right? Kenny Clark is down there at 7%. Carl Brooks is down to 4.6% now. Now, listen, some of that is touch spine. We've talked about that on Chalk Talk. But the point is, you compare apples to apples. Let's compare the pressure percentage just on the Green Bay Packers roster, and you build around that. So if TJ Slaton's going to walk in free agency, who's your next best one? It's Devontae Wyatt at 9.3%, right? Well, Devontae Wyatt's going to be coming up for contract soon too. Is he your true 3-tech? I don't think so. Again, I don't think we have a true 3-tech on this team. When I say true 3-tech, like a dominant 3-tech. You know, Michael Lombardi talks about it all the time. Everybody thinks they have a 3-tech and nobody has a 3-tech, right? They're very, very – it's the reason Christian Wilkins broke the bank in free agency is because he is a dominant 3-tech. You got people like Quinnen Williams that can play all over the line. He can play your 3-tech if you need him to and be dominant at it. Chris Jones can play all over that defensive line for Kansas City, and he can be dominant at it. You're looking for a guy who can truly dominate out of the 3-tech. And when we say 3-tech, we're talking about lining up in between the guard and the tackle, okay? You get that guy lined up between the guard and the tackle. I'm not the guard and the tackle. The tackle, yeah, the guard and the tackle. One side, typically with our 4-3 front, whether you're in an under or an over, you're going to have somebody playing nose in the 1-tech, and you're going to have another guy playing the 3-tech. The 3-tech is typically most important in the pass rush, along with the opposite edge defender. So you always want to have those guys opposite of each other. So when they have to slide the protection to double team one, you can't double team them both unless you leave in a 6-man protection. So you're really, really controlling what the offense can do schematically when you've got a dominant 3-tech and a dominant edge defender. So, and again, Rashawn Gary's had a down year. We've said it over and over and over, right? You know, just like I was the president of the Rudy Ford fan club, I'm now the president of the Rashawn Gary fan club, evidently. It's just wild that people try to, you know, get him off the team. He's horrible. We overpaid, all this. He's leading your team in pressure percentage and sacks. So, like, that, let's say that's the floor, okay? What I mean by the floor, now let's go find another dominant to go with him and watch them play off of each other, right? And to me, that should be a 3-tech as opposed to an edge. And again, people kind of have dogged LVN. The reality is LVN at that 9.8% and 283 snaps has been the second most dominant edge rusher for the Packers on this team. Like, you know, we fall in love with Aaron Mosby, right? Granted, there's only, 39 snaps, but his is at 8.7%. His pressure percentage should be higher with fewer snaps, right? The same thing with who was the other one? Brenton Cox Jr. is like slightly ahead of LVN at 10%, but he's only had 63 snaps. That number is going to go down, you know, naturally as he gets more snaps. So let's look at TJ Slaton. We're talking about the pressures, right? And let's look at all of TJ Slaton's pressure snaps real quick. We got 14. And I'm going to try to set it up to where we can go rapid fire just to kind of get an idea. And we're going to go end zone cam. Let's do away with the sideline. All right. Now, so let's find TJ Slaton. Remember what we were talking about, 3 and a 1-tech, right? This is the problem with TJ. TJ plays 1-tech. He's here. Okay. So you've got Wyatt playing 3-tech. You see what I'm saying? Over the center, 0, 1 in between the guard and the center. And then it would be 3 in between the guard and the tackle. On the opposite side, 0 over the center, 1 in between the guard and the center, 3 in between the guard and the tackle. So Wyatt's the 3, and TJ Slaton is the one. Let's watch Slaton right here. Watch the one tech right here. Singled up. I mean, just completely collapses the pocket in there on the quarterback, right? And they got the ball out quick. There ain't nothing you can do as a player. That he did his job. He pressured the quarterback, and you got to hope that the coverage holds up. Here we are now. Let's see where he's at. Once again, one tech, and instead of a true three, yeah, that's a three. They would consider that a three tech. He's kind of on the outside shoulder of the guard. That's definitely considered a three over a two, no doubt. So let's watch TJ Slaton here in the one. Look at him just drive the pocket back. See him? He's the one getting pressure on Will Levis on that play. So this is what I love about NFL Pro over the PFF stuff. PFF just goes, trust us. NFL Pro goes, here's the pressure, right? All right, let's watch Slaton on this play. Once again, where's he lined up? This might be different this time. That kind of looks like it might be him there. Let's see once the ball's snapped. Hold on just a second. Yeah, so he's actually playing, what would that be, a two-tech? I guess they were both playing two. No, Devontae Wyatt's playing the one. And on this play here, TJ Slaton's actually playing the three-tech. So this is a perfect snap right here of can he play three-tech? Let's watch it. And granted, it's against the Titans, but this is what you're talking about. Like, if you were to re-sign TJ Slaton, let's say it, I don't know, $2 or $3 million per for 3 years and give him almost fully guarantee it to make it worth his, the guaranteed money, make it sweeter than him hitting free agency. Can he play three-tech? I'll tell you what, boy, he just drove through a double team. Look at my man, right? TJ Slaton's a better pass rusher than we think. We see him as this big, heavy body guy, and we think, oh, he's just a run stuffer. But you're seeing it on tape. Here he is in the one tech against Minnesota, kind of playing nose. He's almost just playing shade, really on the inside shoulder. I'd say it's a one. Let's watch him drive the guard. So you see Kenny right here. He engaged with the double team, and now 67 is trying to peel off, but watch TJ in the middle. Drive. You see, he didn't sack the quarterback, but you've seen him pressure the quarterback and make him run out, right? Unfortunately, we're in man coverage right here, so that lets Darnold escape the pocket, right? So there's another TJ Slaton pressure. Let's go on to the next one. It's probably be against Minnesota again, maybe. I don't know. Yep, Minnesota again. All right, here we go. One tech again, right? You see him right there in the middle. Let's watch it. Ball snapped. Double team. Look at my man. Drive, fighting through. Got a hand on him there. So he definitely got close enough for it to be a pressure. But once again, man coverage, and Sam Darnold escapes the pocket. I hate man coverage so bad, man. Like 80% of our interceptions this year have come off of playing zone. And every time we go to man, quarterbacks just scramble all over. So look at this look, guys. Double A gap mug. Now you've got TJ Slaton. You got TJ Slaton in a five tech. He's on the outside shoulder of the tackle on this play. Let's see if he stunts in. Nope, he's going out. Look at that straight arm drive. Keyshawn hits. What's crazy is with Keyshawn, this is one of Keyshawn's strip sacks when he was playing nickel. If Sam Darnold gets that ball out, look at TJ Slaton. Doesn't matter. TJ Slaton's paw is up there, right? He's getting a hand on that ball. He actually did anyway, right? Looked like it actually glanced off of him as Keyshawn hit him. So another pressure there from TJ Slaton. So these pressures, I wanted to show this because this isn't just fluff. These are legit pressures, right? Here he is playing one tech. All right, so he's in the middle. And drive. Look at that little rip move. Spin. Did you see the big fella spin? Look at the spin move. He's going to rip right here and spin. Did you see it? That is wild. Rip and spin. What a good rep. Look right here. Rip, spin, hit the quarterback. This is catching me off guard, I ain't gonna lie. Pretty cool. Here he is again, playing one tech against the Rams. And hopefully I'm explaining this enough for you guys on the podcast, just to kind of give you an idea. Look at that over-under. That's a swim move, right? So a punch, pull, and swim. Look at the big fella. Another pressure. Granted, that's the Rams. I don't know if it should count, right? But I don't know. They played good football since the receivers got healthy. All right, here he is again, one tech for TJ. Now look at him. He popped over to the nose. So now he's playing straight up zero tech, nose, right? Let's see what he does on this rush. Wish I could get those numbers off the screen. There we go. All right. So let's watch him at the nose. Look at that burst being held to. Bang, hits the quarterback. Looky there, incompletion. All right, so you guys get the idea, right? We'll show one more. Here's against the Cardinals. TJ Slaton right here playing a 2-eye inside shoulder of the guard. Double team, watch him fade around, engage with the tackle. Another pressure. Now, you'd like to see him shoot for the outside shoulder of poor little Kyler Murray there, but still pressure, legit pressure from TJ Slaton. One more. I'm sorry. I keep saying one more. I love it. I could watch this stuff all day. Another one tech. Last one, I promise. So you see predominantly he plays in a one tech, although he's played a 5. But my man fighting through the double team. Yep, pressure. So you guys get the idea there with TJ. The big thing for me there, predominantly he plays one tech. We've seen he can play 3 tech from time to time. That could be them trying to exploit a matchup, right? That could be the case. He also lined up in a 5 tech. I don't like him out there, right? It's a big old boy in all that space. But I say you try to get him back on a bargain, man. I mean, again, the numbers are there. So I'd be okay with them signing him for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Drew D in the chat. TJ Slaton doesn't have much wasted movement either. He gets right upfield to the quarterback. So true, Drew. He's not like hand fighting. He's not, dilly-dallying around. It's let's get back there and apply pressure, right? It's a great point for sure. Let's see. I don't know what AFAM's talking about. Hopefully there's no one chained up in Omer's basement. What the hell's going on? I got to hit you with it. I'm sorry. I try to steer clear of this stuff when I'm flying solo, but I just need to know. What the hell is Brett? That's the wrong one. There it is. We'll play it anyway since we hit it.
Favre doing here? I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
All right, so you guys get the idea there with Drew or with TJ Slaton, right? Like I think it's worth exploring, man. For what price, right? And I don't know if Spot Track would even have a fair market value on him or not. This is how I get sidetracked, right? Let's go Spot Track Packers. Let's see if we can figure out if TJ Slaton has a market value attached to him. And again, this doesn't mean it's going to be completely accurate, but it is a cool tool to kind of compare as far as production and all that stuff across the league as to whether someone, you can come up with the price in which they're worth. Let's see, TJ Slaton, man, he's definitely outplayed his contract. There's no two ways about that. Let's see if we got a market value. We got a market value for him. I don't think we do. We do not. We don't have a market value for him. I apologize for wasting that time. I was just trying to see. And again, once someone hits free agency, it doesn't matter how we feel about it or what he may or may not be worth. It's what's the market say he's worth, right? That's the tough part. So, all right, that's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all.